Okay, so it's 3:03. We'll go ahead and get started. We might have some more people joining us, but I hope you found the chat. I hope you can hear me okay and see my screen. If you have any issues, feel free to hit the chat and we'll try to figure it out. All right, so my name's Sierra Milkowitz. I am the project manager for a project called South Coast Oregon Connects. In a nutshell, we're a community website. We are powered by the community. I am the project manager, but we also have a steering committee that I'll tell you about. I'm going to tell you a little bit about what the website actually is and what's its purpose, who is on the steering committee, who backs us and that sort of thing, and what our ask is to the community, really, how we need the community's help. Our website originally wasn't supposed to launch until June of 2020. But with everything going on, we thought the community could really use a hub for resources. So that's our true purpose, is just to be an online hub for all the resources this community has to offer, and in a one cohesive place that's accessible online and is updated regularly. So what is South Coast Oregon Connects, SCOC? We're a website. It's volunteer run, a tool for community service organizations, so people who work with the public and get asked lots of questions. We hope you can use this tool. It can also be a tool for community members. So anybody in the public can view it without logging in. And it's also has a section that's like a blog for sharing local news. So regular news updates, but we're also looking for folks to write some stories, and we have some pretty cool stories on there as well. Kind of, historical things about the area, fun things to do in the area, that sort of thing. It's a gallery of local highlights. So if you know any photographers or anybody working on large projects, I'll talk a little bit more about each section, and they can upload photos and updates and all that sort of thing. And it's just a general hub of information. And it's also, I think, a really great opportunity for networking and professional development. And I'll talk a little bit more about that as we go on. So who is South Coast Oregon Connects? So we're actually backed by a larger community website partnership. So these folks are based in Southern Oregon and Ashland area, and as you can see on the screen, there are a lot of other community network websites. We're not the first, and we get support from the community website partnership. We really appreciate their support and training for our moderators and things like that. And they host a lot of other great community websites. So Wild Rivers Connect, for example, covers the Curry and Del Norte County areas, and we, South Coast Connects, we just cover Coos County area. So they're making more all the time. We're the latest edition, and we're really excited to have their support. Locally, we're backed by United Way, so I work closely with them, and they're on our steering committee. And we have a large steering committee of local networking leaders, social service professionals, and things like that. So on our steering committee, we have representation from Waterfall Clinic, Youth Era, Department of Human Services, Coos Head Food Co-op, Coast Community Health, United Way, the local libraries, ORCA, so lots of different community-based organizations. And you. So we have all this kind of backbone built, but really the meat of the website is going to be our users' content. And so I'm going to talk a little bit about what the public can view, and then I'll talk about what we're asking from users and what local leaders, community members, businesses, what we want from them. So it's really powered by the community. So let's go ahead and go over there for a tour. So this is the homepage of our website. Like I said, we weren't really supposed to launch until June or so, but we really wanted to get this information out to the public, specifically around our COVID-19 resources page. So a lot of people have been helping us with that. We're working with some folks from local Facebook groups, and I'll talk a little bit more about that. But first, I'll give kind of a general overview of the website, and because it has a lot of moving parts here. So generally, I always say that the first place that people should go is the directory. So our website had 100 users just yesterday. We just started advertising last week. We had 100 users, and of those users, 60 out of the 100 clicked on the directory first thing. The only page more than that was the COVID-19 resources page. So this is what the directory looks like. We have, kind of just basic information about different types of organizations. We have categories: health and human services, mental health, government, everything from business to government and everything in between. So you can see some of the categories here. I'd like to get some faith organizations, put their information on here. And then users, this is what they see on the public facing side. And there's an interactive map as well. And it's really easy to view on a phone. So this is what it looks like on a phone. Have the navigation up there. Can do a search by location, category, all that. So if you wanted to search Coquille, you would only come up with the resources in Coquille. So that's kind of our first call for anybody using the site is get your organization's information up on the directory with updated social media, phone. Some of these are required, some of them are not, and I'll show you more about the form after we log in later. So the next stop in our overview will be the news section. So there's a couple different aspects of the news section. This is like the public blog. Anybody can submit a story using the form. It's pretty straightforward. A lot of people will just copy and paste from another post, either if it's like a Facebook post that you made or your organization made, or copy and paste a news story that was published. If you want to put links, you can just copy and paste links into the post content section to maybe link to somewhere else that was published. And that really increases the Google and search engine visibility of it, and will get your information out there and higher up on search engines. And same for our site. So pretty straightforward there. After you submit a post, it's reviewed by our moderators before it goes up. We've got a good team, so they're reviewing it pretty quickly. And, if they'll fix any spelling errors, and they'll make the links live and everything like that. So anybody can submit a story, and you choose categories. So if you do choose the COVID-19 category, this will also pop up on our COVID-19 resources page. Probably a lot of our news stories right now are relating to that. Yeah. There are other categories too, though. And the other part of our news section is submitting a press release. So if you work for an organization that, produces press releases, you want to let people know, say you work for a school, you want to let people know what's going on with your hours at school or distance learning news, you can click on submit a press release. And this is the latest addition to our site, so it's still under construction, but these are the news organizations that we've gotten permission to share with. So anybody that has a press release can go on here. These fields are required. We consulted with, local news organizations, and a lot of them said, oh, well, sometimes you'll get a press release and it doesn't have the date, or it doesn't have the logo, or it doesn't have photos. So you can attach files, fill in this, and when you click submit, it will go to any of these organizations that you've checked. And we actually have a lot of other organizations as well. We just haven't heard back from them yet, as we just kind of started doing public outreach a couple weeks ago. So this will grow, and anybody can submit a press release. It goes directly to these guys without logging in. All right, our press and media guide is still under construction. That'll be just kind of like instructions on how to do a press release and things like that. So we're still working on that. But we encourage anybody who has some sort of story, something interesting, to go ahead and submit it. The next section I will look at is our calendar. So once again, this is the public-facing view. Anybody can see it. And the calendar had a lot more events on it a few weeks ago, but what I found people doing that I think is really awesome is submitting webinars and useful trainings that might be useful to local businesses. You can add an event and then you can edit it later and click postpone. For example, I was supposed to teach a kombucha brain class this weekend, but it's postponed. I was able to log in and edit it on my side. We have, I think a great thing to do would be put recurring meetings. So Coos Health and Wellness has their COVID-19 virtual town hall that's happening every Tuesday evening. So they put that recurring on there. Social Services Connect. So community meetings that happen like every second Tuesday of the month or whatever, you can upload those on here and put it recurring as well. We also have a list of community calendars. So there are a lot of them. There's always a lot going on in this area, as you know. So here you can find them all linked in one spot. And we'd love to add more. So there's contact information at the top right corner here. And you can also reach out to us on Facebook. So we'd love to add some more to this, and our moderators will do that. All right, next section we'll look at volunteer opportunities. So this kind of has two aspects to it. One, if you're an organization that needs volunteers, you can go on here and put your opportunity up. Also, what we've started to see in some of those other Community Connect websites, there are individuals posting on here. Say you want to go grocery shopping for elderly folks who might not want to leave their house. You can post your own volunteer posting on here saying you're offering services. And some of these fields are required, some are not, so you don't have to put a phone number if you don't want. And just if you're an individual, just be careful because what you post will be public, but it's not, all the fields are not required. So, and you also have the map, kind of the same as the directory set up here. And you can categorize it. So this will be really, really useful. As we know, there's a lot of opportunities to volunteer in the community. It's just really hard to find them sometimes. So there we go. And the other section here is projects. So projects is kind of a work in progress. So you can think of the rest of these categories as dynamic, right? Events, calendar events, they're always changing. Directory listings, those are kind of always changing as well. If you update your hours, or if you're doing takeout all of a sudden instead of you know, dine in, that sort of thing. So those are dynamic. The projects we like to think about as more of a long-term effort to better the community in some way. So there's a lot of really cool projects on here. Some are out of date a little bit, but we've added a couple recently, and we'd love to keep adding more. So if you know of an organization that's working on a really great project, feel free to reach out to us. Oh, there went one of those other trees. Okay. And let us know. And once again, if you have links, just copy and paste them into the form, email addresses, that sort of thing, and then our moderators will make them hot links on the other side and fix any spelling errors and get any more information from you that's needed. So project, long-term, news story is kind of what's happening right now, the more dynamic. So we'd like to get some more great community projects up there. Links. So this is just a ton of links, and they're organized this way for now. Healthcare, libraries, it's kind of organized the way that our steering committee decided because we have representation from these sections. But if you think of another one, or you want to be a moderator for this page, you know, let me know. There's also Facebook groups. There's a lot of really great Facebook communities for this area. So, and we're going to add, you know, the COVID-19 Facebook groups here as well. So there we go, bunch of links here. And you can connect with us on Facebook as well. So this is the public facing part of the website. You can also log in. First, you'll have to register. So we really encourage organizations who want to register to use kind of a general name, because, you know, you're on here and you're putting in content right now, but say you have someone else at your job who might want to help, or they might be able to help and, you know, change the time on an event if you need to help change it. So, you know, something just really general, organization name, and you set up your email password, you'll set up your account, confirm that through your email, and then you'll be able to log in. So I'll go ahead and log into my, oh, there we go. I'll log into my demo account here, and we can see what the forms look like for submitting things. Not a robot. All right, so after you log in, it looks about the same, except for now you will have the ability to go in and add listings. So we'll start with the directory. It's pretty straightforward. There's also a guide here. Business name, a description. You'll find your business on the map. So say if we were adding Bay Area Hospital. So you'll want to click find and then make sure it does a pin drop. And also click this checkbox down here so it shows the address details. Add a category. You can add multiple categories. Contact info, website, social media info. And you can upload a photo as well. And for the directory, we recommend just uploading your logo in a high quality format. And if you have problems with that, feel free to reach out to us and we'll help you. So there's a guide here. And then after you click submit, it will show up on the directory right away. Same with the calendar events. It has a similar form. Once you click submit, it shows up on there right away. The news, like I mentioned, it does go through our moderators, so it might be a short delay of 1 to 2 days before it shows up. The press release form sends right away to all those organizations you checked. The volunteer listings show up right away. And the projects go through our moderators because they're kind of like a news story, you know, might have some more information needed, some more links, that sort of thing. All right, so let's check out the COVID-19 resources page, as this has been our hot topic. Now, this website was already in the works before, you know, the last month that feels like a year happened. So the community website partnership, the Oregon-wide team, reached out to each individual organization and asked if we wanted a page for COVID-19 resources. So we said, yes, we definitely do. And what I found, the folks on our steering committee, like I mentioned, they're social service professionals working with people in the public, getting tons of questions all the time. So they've actually just gone ahead and added this link to their email signature for anybody, you know, anybody looking for Oregon or national or specific to Coos County local resources, click here. So you can add it to your email signature. And there's a lot of information on here. So we have a couple moderators working every single day to add things. And one of the great features about this site is, like a good example here is, so United Way has a community-based nonprofit organization, emergency relief funding. So, you know, you click on that link and you get to their application. And down here, they also have volunteer opportunities. So they are trying to post them all as they get them, but if they can't, and you want to know about other volunteer opportunities on how to help with the COVID-19 outbreak, you know, this is one. Yes, so here they put one up, the Bay Area masks and gowns, sewing masks and gowns, and then you can also hit contact here, and it goes to their directory listing. So by linking back and forth on the site, we're really boosting up the search engine, the Google capabilities of this information, and, you know, really getting the most correct and updated information out to the public really quickly. So, you know, all of our local resources come first, and then the nationwide resources, applying online for SNAP benefits, nationwide and state. And so anything you find in the community, you know, we're monitoring Facebook as well, but like I said, we're just a small team of volunteers. So if you want to help, reach out, or just feel free to forward us information that should go on this page. Or the other way to do it is submit a news story, which is really, really great. And we'll tag it with COVID-19. It'll show up on this page. News updates, that one's more of a story, you know, different, this is from a different Connect website that they listed, just general information on Zoom, Dropbox, Google Drive, resources for people who might be working from home. You know, SWOC waiving fees for spring term. So any news story you submit that's about this will show up on this page as well. And that way you can just keep submitting things as they change. As we know, everything is changing quite rapidly at the moment. We do have a DHS helping us translate into Spanish as well. We want this to be as accessible as possible. So we're really grateful to them to have some Spanish translations and working on some more. So I think that about covers this tour. I've got a little more presentation, and then if we have any questions at the end, we'll probably get to questions in about 5 minutes. So we have this kind of backbone of the website built, and we're wondering what's next. So we have our steering committee, but we would like to identify more people who can be moderators and editors of the page, even just as simple as checking spelling errors or checking links that might be broken. You know, this is really a group effort, so we'd love to identify some folks to be moderators, and that's one of the best professional development opportunities as well, because if you're a moderator of our page, you're working on a website, and that's a great thing for the resume too. We need to keep adding more content from users. So if you own a business or if you know someone who does, please forward our information. Facebook will have lots of updates on more webinars and, you know, how-tos for businesses, nonprofit organizations, all of the above. We're just going to keep reaching out to more people and organizations in the community. We were supposed to have a launch party in June. We're, you know, still up in the air trying to figure out what a party might look like in June in, you know, this world. So we've been in contact with Wild Rivers Connect, who cover Curry and Del Norte, and we might do a dual launch party with them and figure out what form that might take. So really our ask is to reach out to us on Facebook, give us a follow, you know, forward our information to your friends and family that work for different organizations and own businesses. Subscribe to our mailing list, which is the very bottom of the homepage, or you can subscribe when you go to create a directory entry. And if you have any questions, reach out via email at contact@southcoastconnects.org. So thank you, and I'll go ahead and take some questions if anyone has them. I can go back to the website and go over any other sections. So thank you so much for joining us, and thanks for your concern for the community during this really crazy time. So, just looking in the chat here. My cat will not get off of my lap today, so he's scared of those trees falling. All right. If we don't have any questions, you know, when you miss something, feel free to reach out directly. I am happy to set you up with a different training or more in-depth info on anything else. So, perfect. All right. Thank you so much, everyone. Stay safe, stay healthy, and try to stay happy too. Have a good weekend.